There we go. Yes, I know what I played. Definitely two of the top 3 games so far this year.
Oh wow!
So everything is recording. If we're all ready to go, I shall begin.
You played The Quiet Man.
Oh no, how much of that is going to have to stay in for the intro? Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast about video games and craft beer. And no one has played the Quiet Man. Only a very select few people who've put their reactions up on the internet for everyone to go and laugh at. I'm Ben, and I'm here with Aadil.
Hey!
Hey! And Lucy!
Hey!
Hey, how are you both?
Good.
Pretty good. It's 1:35 p.m.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, time is still going. The sun hasn't been destroyed yet. Good to know.
I mean, we thought maybe with the confluence of both Trump and Brexit and May.
What a lovely trio.
Yeah, it did feel like it was going to explode at some point, didn't it? But we seem to have come through it pretty unscathed. Apart from our NHS, that's gone. Instantly gone. Just doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, let's talk about the beers we're drinking, not the NHS we're going to rely on later in life to be able to help us after all of these beers. Lucy, what are you drinking first?
I am going to start with a collaboration beer between Wylam and the Yeastie Boys.
Ooh.
It's called Southern Hemisphere IPA. No, it's not called that.
Oh,
It's actually called WXY for W times Y square. No, not squared. To the power of 4. Quadrupled. No, that's different, isn't it? Oh. It's still a long day in the sun.
Yeah, it's just to the power of 4. After squared and
to the
cubed,
power
they don't
4.
have a term.
Nah, shame. Mr. Doctor. Fourth, yes. You know what I've always found weird? That Americans always say a fourth.
What do you say?
We say a
quarter.
quarter.
Oh, we say it depends on the context. We say, "Oh, we're Canadians," so of course we say it sometimes one, sometimes the other.
Like
All depends who you're
1/4 of
talking
the
to.
population and this and that. It's like, just say a quarter.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think we only say a quarter in like money and measurement. It's like a $250,000, but we would say a fourth of population.
Yeah.
Ooh, a measurement.
Weird.
Measurement as in like baking. Sorry, baking as in like day-to-day measurements rather than statistics. What I meant.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a Southern IPA. Southern Hemisphere IPA, sorry.
It's a shipper.
Okay. Yeah, it's a shipper. I like that. The hops are Nelson Sauvin T90, Moteur T90, Galaxy T90, and Motueka T90. So, you know, all the hops from the Upside Down world. It's 7%. That's it, really. Yeah.
All those awful, super dank hops from Stranger Things coming through there. Just like,
From the upside
look how
down.
horrible these are.
Demigorgon.
Exactly. Just picks them for you and hands them to you. Aadil, what are you drinking first?
Coffee.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I slept really poorly, so I didn't actually emerge from bed until about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. I was like, I am not ready for booze.
That's fair enough. So I will pour what I've got. It's a beer from Left Handed Giant. It's called New Best Friend. It is a 6.7% IPA. Nice, easy white label. A little bit of nice can out there. It has got Columbus, Citra, Mosaic, and Nelson Sauvin as the hops. The yeast is WLP002, and other is coriander seed.
Ooh.
So
Coriander seed, not with anything else. We'll see how that gets on.
yeah, I had that over the weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
okay.
shall disclose no more.
We'll return to it in a moment. We'll come back to the Wylam Yeastie Boys collaboration, Lucy.
What, Aadil's generally drinking coffee as his first.
Yeah, sadly.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's bitter like beer.
Is it out of a measuring jug?
It's not. It's out of
You've messed up then.
Right, and it's even from one of those Tassimo machines because my parents don't drink coffee, so they just have one of those. So it's like freeze dried, plastic coated. Well, plastic
Yeah. Plastic enclosed.
capsule.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's
Tasting notes are coffee.
and there's more tasty notes to coffee than that.
Oh yeah, but this particular coffee.
There's bitter, there's roasty.
Roasty.
Yeah, it's definitely slightly crestingly almost burnt. So if you are in the market for a Tassimo coffee, I would suggest not looking at the Nabob Breakfast Origin Blend or whatever it's called.
I'm not a coffee drinker, so who knows? Yeah, mine's a very pretty beer. It's really cloudy, like completely, you can't see through that at all. Really good looking beer, light, not quite straw, but very, very light yellow. It looks like mango juice, to be honest. Nice, yeah, about 2.5 finger white frothy head. Yeah, it's a really good looking beer. Taste wise, oh, that's lovely. It reminds me of a Cloudwater beer, like when they, a few summers ago when they were just coming out with juice bombs after juice bombs.
Right, yeah.
It's got that that yeastiness to it. I wonder what yeast they've used. Probably not going to find out, but yeah, it's got like even a powdery texture to the finish. It just sticks on your tongue, but it's got citrus, got a lot of fruit in there. I'm not surprised with the amount of hops that they put in there, but it's got a bit of finish, but it's not too bitter. It's quite light at the same time. It's really easy drinking. It doesn't taste 7% at all. Right, very nice. I really like that. That's a cracking beer, to be honest. Very good.
Nice. I've seen it in the bottle shop a couple of times, and always sort of tempted to pick it up. I don't know why I haven't really.
Yeah, it's I mean, just looking at it, and at the very start, you think, oh yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be quite thick and heavy just by the appearance of it. But it starts that way almost, but then it just has a really, really light bit of finish. So it's nice, and that's why it's just so easy to drink.
Nice.
And it won't last much longer, so.
That's all right. That's good.
It's very good.
Good. I don't know how I'm feeling about this new best friend.
Really?
Is it not your new best friend?
No.
Oh.
It's got a little bit of. I mean, it's it's a nice sort of straw colour, a little bit of yellowy orange. Not hazy, but it's not it's not translucent really. But it doesn't have that kind of that haze to it. It's just a little bit, almost like almost a pure sort of solid, really in colour. You don't have that sort of lightness around the edges that you get with a lot of sort of hazy beers. A little bit of a head, slightly carbonated when you sort of sip it back. Had a very light nose, and for an IPA, maybe not quite getting a big hit that I was expecting. This feels a bit more like a pale. It's very, very light. It's quite delicate. I'm getting sort of the sort of tropical flavours coming through, maybe a little bit of mango, and the coriander seed sort of seems to creep in very slightly towards the end when there's this very low, light bitterness, but it does leave a little bit of a soapy aftertaste, definitely. And it was it coriander leaf or was it coriander seed?
Seeds, yeah.
So I know we've talked about this before about having that soapiness when adding coriander into beers, and it definitely feels like it's just got that as an aftertaste. I don't know whether it's the coriander, working with the fruit that with the hops and the fruity characteristics that they've got, which give it that kind of that slight change in flavour, because it doesn't start off soapy. It is definitely after that bitterness kicks in, then that sort of that soapiness just starts to creep in. And I think even when I have another sip, I'm hit with that fruitiness first, quite a quick piney bitterness in there,
Yeah.
which slowly then disappears into that soapiness. I will say one of the redeeming things is I have no idea that this is 6.7%. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
I could very easily, if I didn't know that this was 6.7% or an IPA, I would think this was 4.55% pale ale. Really, doesn't quite fit the style. Doesn't quite fit the. Well, I say it doesn't fit the alcohol. That's a ridiculous term. You know, you can make it sort of as alcoholic as you want, really, and hide the flavour or hide that alcohol very well, but not quite hitting it for me.
Yeah, I thought it was just it was a decent beer. It was just middling for me, to be honest. Yeah, down the middle of the road, it was alright. It was alright. I think you're much more prone to getting that soapy taste more so than me. But yeah, I can see why that would put you off, because some beers have definitely had that like soapiness, and I've just been like, nah, you know. Depends on the beer.
I don't know whether it's. I don't think it puts me off. I think it maybe makes me reach for the glass quicker than I'd like to. It is a little dry. You know, that I want to reach to sort of refresh myself, but I think I'm looking to reach to have that sort of fruit hit and that little bit of bitterness in there rather than that soapiness. It wants me to pick the beer back up to have. Obviously, I wouldn't imagine that's intended. Why would you put coriander seed and want your beer to have that, you know, anyone to have sort of like a soapy nature to it? I don't know why this is something that you know, that you and I, Aadil, both kind of pick up quite a lot on beers, really, when they've got coriander in or something added into them to get that nature to it.
I mean, I usually notice it, but I don't get hit by it like it's like, oh god, this is super soapy. I'm like, oh, I can see how this has a soapy taste.
Yeah.
And mostly, especially if I'm tuning into it.
I wonder what it actually brings to the beer, why they keep on putting it in, because people do have that, where people really think it tastes very soapy and no other taste to coriander, so I wonder how much it really enhances a beer, why brewers still put it in, because who knows?
Well, it might be just the other side of the coriander taste. People who really love it might be getting whatever that note is, or the reaction from it.
Because I don't dislike coriander, but I never know what it really brings to a beer, you know?
Yeah.
I'd agree. I don't think I've ever had a beer where I've really thought, wow, the coriander is really doing something here or adding something. But again, it may be that in some examples it's just blended in very, very well, and actually it's a very nuanced sort of taste, just heightening something else perhaps. I'd expect it to give a little bit of a slight kick in with that pininess perhaps, to come in then, and maybe it is coming in then, but the Nelson Sauvin, or like the pininess that I'm getting through the sort of the bitterness is maybe a little bit more overpowering than the coriander seed is there to kind of back up, and it's only after that has started to disappear that flavour comes through a little bit more perhaps. So it's I mean, as you say, Lucy, it is a very it's a very middling beer. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, and I mean even that soapy taste isn't super soapy. It's not putting me off the beer at all. You know, I'm not going to chuck this away. I'm going to drink it. It's enjoyable enough. Not quite the level of left-handed giant beers that I've come to expect, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it was an odd one for me. I mean, even the can looks different, was it? Is it a
Slightly,
collaboration?
yes. I
Or is
don't
it just them?
think so. I think it's just left-handed giant.
Yeah. Well, they got a very good pedigree, so even a middling beer from them is pretty decent.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those that's not going to put me off them whatsoever. As we've been saying, it's not a bad beer. It's just kind of okay. Yeah. That's about it. Good. Let's jump to you, Aadil. We've been chatting about our beers, so we're going to come to you for a little topic first. Maybe games that you've played or things you want to discuss.
Oh dear. Right. Well, I don't have beer, but I have 2 games.
Oh,
Oh my god, this is a record for you.
Yeah, I think it's just against the laws of the universe for me to have beer and talk about games.
yeah.
I can only ever have that.
One or the other.
Review forthcoming American Fugitive.
Yes, I've heard about that one. Looks
Yeah,
alright.
it-
It looks like How to
uh,
Survive.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely supposed to pull your nostalgia strings for those early pre-GTA 3 GTAs.
Mm,
One thing that just annoys me with the other reviews that are out there, they're all like, "Yeah, it's a top-down, just like all those other GTAs," except it's not. It's isometric. Which
that's a sticking point.
Bit of a
Yeah.
difference.
there's a slight difference there. I think it works better with that because you see more details to the
Yeah,
world
definitely.
top down. And there's only a couple of angles where you're like trying to maneuver a car where, because of the fixed angle of the isometric, it's exactly the wrong angle to like quickly get around a thing. But other than that, I think it's universally better than the top down.
Yeah,
The
it gives more
premise-
detail to the world. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the premise is you are a small-time thief, semi-reformed. You clearly have a deadbeat dad. It starts with a phone call in the middle of the night, and your dad's like, "Come over quick, I need you," and your partner's like, "No, you can't do this, like not again." And he's like, "Well, it's an emergency according to my dad." And you go, and he finds out your dad's dead, and then the cops come, and you get thrown in jail.
Oh,
And there's a mysterious car that was parked out back. And then you find out that your buddy / brother, someone, I can't remember, your first contact in the game says he spotted the car, and then you're like, "Oh, I need to break out to find this car because the cops don't even believe me that it exists." Then you arrange to be basically put in the infirmary and you escape. And then you go visit your friend, and then you start messing with those McCoy boys. It's basically what I really like about it. It's like a small town, middle of America town, and it's not this huge, expansive open. It's an open world, obviously, but it's not a huge, expansive map. There's a couple like bridges, closed roads, and that you have to unlock later to keep you sort of a little guarded. But everything about it is small. So the crimes you're doing, you're like fuck up some guy's car, take it to the salvage yard, robbing stores, etc. It's all small because you're in a small town, and I think that really helps because it's not the biggest, most exciting game. I think it would have been hurt if you tried to do it in a city. But and another thing that comes along with that is basically what sets it out from a generic GTA game is there's some decision tree dialogue. There is a narrative. It's quite a big part of the game, and there's some narrative choices. I don't know how much they really affect things, but they do affect sort of how a mission starts, for example. And then you literally get like a head and then a line and a head and a line, so like a back and forth dialogue rather than doing cutscenes. Again, small developer, pretty nice. Gives you some characterization. Then the next thing that's sort of unique is you can break into almost any building. If you're a small-time thief, you can go and scout out each window to see if anyone's in there, and then break in to an unoccupied window, and then it sort of gives you a mini game, which is like a floor plan of the building. And most buildings will have alarms, or the cops will be called, and it'll be a timer, and you can search the rooms, but that'll take time. That'll take some time, and so you can sort of when you're down to like 10 seconds left, you better be close to a window and bail. Otherwise,
so
the cops will
you
surround
almost
the
have sort of a
building.
set number of moves.
Like
Yeah,
a little
kind of.
strategy mini game.
So that's really neat and a really cool way of doing it. Again, not
'Cause,
having you go. on.
You don't have to go inside, so it's not like they have to model like all these
Exactly,
different.
and I think that's what, like,
series,
again, it's a really good way of dealing with the low resources that they have. It's also a reason why it can be on the Switch and all the other platforms because it's not an intensive game. So a lot of it's just an overlay. But to break it into locked doors, you need heavy crowbars. To break into windows, you need some sort of blunt object. they all have limited uses, which is kind of annoying because I don't see why a baseball bat would splinter after using it against 2 windows.
Mm.
Well,
It's that Breath of the Wild issue.
Yeah, they break a little too easy, and because of that, you start with sort of a limited inventory, and it's by weight as well as by spots.
can you be encumbered, or are you just not allowed to put them?
No, you just
Inventory.
so you could be like trying to get the thing you need for a mission, and then be like, you're full. And so then you have to go in the inventory and drop things.
Yeah.
Mm.
The gunplay has the same problems as the original GTAs in that aiming, sort of in that close to top-down perspective, is kind of loose.
Yeah.
They make up for it by giving sort of traces on the rounds, so you'll probably miss your first shot, but then you'll know you can adapt, which is kind of nice. But again, you end up like killing a bunch of guys with guns, and then like I can't carry all this shit, and I have to drop all these things. And there are things that are worth money, which helps you unlock perks, but you can't sell them until like 5-6 missions in, when you unlock the mysterious girl character who will help you look for the bad guys, and help exonerate you from patricide. So it's all right. It's got some jank. I mean,
that seems like a good game for jank.
Yeah, which sort of helps the nostalgia with GTA. Like, yeah. But like, so for example, what's nice is like the rule set of what counts as breaking the law is exactly what would be in a small town. Mm-hmm. You break property in front of people, they may call cops on you. So like, even though you'll see cops, it'll sort of do on the in your HUD, like the cops saying this vehicle spotted and like property damage, etc. But also I sped around a corner and then was about to rear end a cop, so I hit the brakes and then bumped into him, and then nothing happened, and I carried along my way. And then another time I like nudged like a post box, and immediately they turned their off screen turned their lights on, and suddenly I was in a chase.
If we can't protect the post boxes, who can we protect?
Yeah. So it's the AI is a little, like I said, janky. I kind of like the idea that you have to be careful, but also if I don't know this thing's on screen, it's kind of unfair and ruins things. But my other big problem is it's too easy to get away from the cops. Like
okay.
That's a fine balance, I feel, in most games.
Right. So the thing is, respray shops.
Yes.
What if changing your clothes was a personal respray shop?
Mm.
And what if there were clothes on clotheslines and in buildings?
Yeah.
Or you knock someone out and take their clothes.
Can it be any clothes? Can you wear a dress?
You definitely can wear a dress, and you definitely should wear a dress. Yeah. So I really like the idea of the mechanic. Like, a couple of times the cops have been chasing me, and I've literally been like it seems like I'm in line of sight, but I change my clothes and then they stop. And other times they're like clearly not in line of sight, but the cop is actively chasing me. I switch my clothes, and then he rounds a corner, and they're like, "I spotted him in that clothes." I'm like, "Well, what?"
Yeah.
But most of the time you can outrun, and then no matter how much like 4 or 5 stars, whatever, you can just wait in the woods. And again, you're in a small sort of Midwestern Colorado-y town, so
yeah. Well, with the amount of jank, it's good that it's not too punishing. Because I found that in like Party Hard, the first one, where it's like it was a bit, hit and miss whether the cops would see whether a new outfit would work, and whether these people can see around corners and stuff. And it used to get like quite frustrating when you didn't know what happened or why something didn't happen. And getting seen in Party Hard is, it's like just a countdown till point where this game this runs over. So
completely.
The driving the car does matter to an extent, but the sort of fast classic cars are just really unwieldy, which really does remind me of original GTA jank. But that also is less fun when hitting a post box might trigger a cop. So I think the balance there is kind of so like, you'll get in cop chases really easily, but they're also you could just kind of like go to the oh, there's a couple houses here. I'll just jump out and go to the clothesline, and now I'm free, and I'll go walk back to that car, or steal another car because no one's around this car, and the car like. It's nice because sometimes they're just chasing the car, so if cop doesn't know who you are and you just leave the car, you're fine. But again, it's the balance of these things. They sort of sometimes fight each other. Yeah. Got it on PS4 from the developer.
Nice.
Kind of wish I had asked for the Switch code just because I would have been able to put more time in it. And also kind of was curious how there's a couple spots where it kind of seemed like the frame rate dropped on the PS4.
Oh, okay.
So I'm curious how robust the Switch is.
Yeah.
But the narrative is okay. It's definitely a classic game where the narrative isn't what keeps you there. But kind of sucks that like progression is pretty tied to it. So it's like the narrative progression of GTA 4 and a GTA 1 2 style game.
Yeah. That makes sense. Does it? You haven't mentioned anything about the music, and I kind of, as you were talking about it, I was kind of expecting this, slightly Smoking the Bandit-esque banjo refrain to kind of kick in as you've got the sort of chases going on and stuff like that. Is it a little bit like that?
Yeah, there's definitely interstitial things. It's all like unlicensed music, like or like whatchamacallit. Copyright free. There's a term for this. Whatever, you know what I mean. And it's all vaguely like Podunk Town-esque, not too country twangy, but it's got moments.
Nice.
It's usually the right type of like the mood is matched pretty well.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it would be nice if there were like radios or something. But
bit of Laszlo.
I think the biggest problem I have with the narrative is that you're the dude who you broke out to your friend who saw that car. He's basically his family, your family, and the McCoys are like in a feud, and so your first like 7 missions for him are like fuck up something with the mess with the McCoy boys, and you're like, I just escaped prison to try and exonerate myself, and that's the other thing. So it's kind of roguelite.
So GTA 3 starts.
Right, but like you can pay money to unlock perks as you like progress, and then those stay on. So like increased inventory. You can also do unlocks like when you respawn, you will respawn with a new change of clothes. And basically, if you die or get arrested, the plot is if you die, you didn't really die. You just got rearrested, like passed out. They arrested you, and then you escaped from jail again.
You just instantly back in that
which again
first instance.
The like it's already kind of starts with they don't really guard the infirmary. Of course they guard the infirmary, but sure, I escaped prison from the infirmary, and then you crawl through a pipe, and then you're in town, and then it's like, oh, but every time you die or get arrested, no extra charges or whatever, because the plot is exonerate from the patricide, not the repeated escapes from prison, which would add to your set.
Yeah, but we all know the American judicial system.
Yeah.
So,
Well, exactly. If GTA has taught us anything, it's that you can mow down 400 people and then just pay about $200 and just get out.
Yeah.
So this is probably my biggest complaint with like the gameplay and the narrative not matching. You're a small-time crook who would never kill someone. You're trying to prove your innocence from murder, and you do that by repeatedly murdering innocent people or cops.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So it's just, I mean, I guess my problem is like that worked 20 years ago, but like we've got a lot better at narratives, and like it's much more noticeable in a game when the gameplay and narrative don't match, right? Like this is some people's problem with the Uncharted games is like you have plot points where killing seems to be a big deal, but you also are mowing down people all the time anyway. And this is like that to the 10th degree.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So that's American Fugitive.
Does it know that it's like, does it ever poke fun of itself? Like, it's very self-aware of the fact that you're proving your innocence by killing people.
It doesn't seem to have that awareness. That would, I mean, I didn't get too far into it just because I left the country on my PS4. most of the humor, etc., is just generic
Yeah.
setting humor and in dialogue trees. What's kind of neat is if you are in a home invasion and you bump into someone, if you have like duct tape or rope or whatever, you can bind them, or if you have weapons, you can intimidate them, and it tells you the % chance of keeping them quiet versus. But if you lose the random number roll, you can threaten them with a gun, and then they overpower you. You lose the gun, and you're thrown out of the building.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's little things like that. I actually really like the home invasion stuff. I just wish, again, maybe it was because I was earlier in the game and they had the kid gloves on, but like a couple times I pushed my luck and the cops surrounded, and I was like, there was like, it wasn't hard to just immediately leave.
Yeah.
And then my biggest complaint is there's a sprint, which is on you got a sprint bar, stamina bar, and it runs out really quickly. You can put money into perks for that, but even your sprint speed is barely faster than your regular walk speed, which is depressingly slow. Which is just like an artificial way of like making things last longer. It's like, well, now now this chase is just taking a while, but I already know that I will get away.
Okay.
So get on PC and run a mod that ups the speed.
Yeah. Good. So good thoughts though. Nice balanced thoughts on American Fugitive.
Sounds
all right.
It sounds like you can just turn your brain off and just go through the motions and still have a decent.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those types of games.
Yeah. Nice. I know you mentioned you had another game that you've played.
I did. And it's a game that Lucy has played.
Ooh.
Finished.
It's the third game in a spiritual successor series.
Is it like fourth?
Was it fourth? Oh yeah, because of the sequel. One has an actual sequel.
Oh, they had a tower defense.
Did they? Oh, so that's the fifth game?
What are we talking about?
I think it's. Who knows?
Fourth. Oh no, Steamworld Tower Defense, Steamworld Dig,
Heist,
Dig 2. Yeah, it's the fifth. And
Quest. Isn't that four? Can I not count today?
Tower, Quest, Heist, Dig.
Two digs. Yeah. You're very right. That's why you're the doctor and I'm not.
I really like it. I'm only about 5 or 6 chapters in.
Okay.
It's a what is it?
It's a 2D side-scrolling card-based RPG.
Turn-based RPG-ish.
Turn-based RPG, yeah.
Except, yeah. So basically, you're in platformy, like Double Dragon style levels that are. You can think of them as rooms, and then they'll have different exit points, and that'll take you to another one. So you can like break weeds to get money and approach enemies to try and get the drop on them by hitting them first with your attack. Dodging and stuff. If they see you, they'll charge you. That's like the generic movement throughout the game. That's where most of the plot happens, and then you go into the actual fight, which is you have three. There's only 4 characters total in the game, right?
There are. I think there's 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Yeah, you meet some more later down the line, but you start with 2, and then you're playing through 3 for the rest of the game, and you can rotate your squad.
Yeah, and so you have a generic. You start with like a mage and a warrior, basically.
Yeah,
and then you get this sort of interesting hybrid of a tank and healer.
Yeah.
And then the weird foxy guy.
The weird foxy guy. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that me, classical with RPGs, I only stuck with those first 3 characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has like really good quality of life RPG mechanics where it's like, we will, even if your other characters don't fight or anything, they'll still level and gain XP. Comparative to the other ones who you are actively using, so that's good. But yeah, I just never used them.
So basically, the way the fight system works is it's card based. You draw what, 5 cards, 4 cards?
It's
It must be
I
5.
can't remember. It's been like 2-3 weeks. Like how am I meant to?
You draw a hand, and then you can basically, your deck is essentially 8 cards per character of your 3 active characters. And some of them will be just generic attacks or buffs that will also give you a gear. And then basically you have 10 possible gear spots, and the other cards cost gears. 0 to 4, I think, is the max I've seen, but maybe they go higher.
I think 4 is the max, if I can remember right.
But and so basically, you're doing things like you can do some things are like it costs a gear, it hits really hard, and does a debuff to an element, and then that way a spell element will do more damage. If you just expose them to fire. If you get 3 cards per turn.
Yeah.
And if they're the 3 of the same character, then that character's weapon has a bonus effect.
Yeah.
So like the mage's starting weapon, I think, is basically if you do 3 spells in a row, then everyone gets a bit of a mana bubble, basically.
Yeah. And you can change the further you go on. When you upgrade their weapons, you can change what that 4th attack is as well. So, as you say, it can be that healing potion for all characters. I think if you upgrade a weapon, it can do a blizzard or something like that on the opposing. So, there's a lot of variety to the combat, which I guess I was expecting because it is Imogen. They're very good at what they do, but it was very approachable. Like, I don't play many RPGs, as you two both well know, and even fewer card games, and yet I felt like I had a grasp on the mechanics. So
that's good.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of interesting optimization. Like right now, I'm playing around a bunch with my deck, and it's okay. But the last fight I had 2 moments where I just couldn't play cards, even though I had because I didn't have anything to generate gears and only had gear cards. And obviously that's going to happen.
It happens once or twice, But overall, I think it's. I wouldn't say it's an easy game, but it's really manageable for beginners and people who are not used to the genre.
Yeah.
I only died a handful of times, if not 2-3 times.
Yeah, what I like is, again, as Lucy said, quality of life stuff. So I've had one of my characters die in F5, the other 2 finished off the fight, and then automatically your last character gets all the XP and is automatically back with 1 health, and then you can just use a couple potions or whatever. But
potions in and out of battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a sort of standard JRPG mode, but with things like global regen and stuff as possible cards, you can make it so it's really tough to not finish with almost max health with everyone. If you tweak your deck the right way, the fights might be longer, but then until you hit a boss character, you just don't ever have to worry about stuff. Save points are interesting because they respawn all enemies. It's a nice little balancing thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Just save scum. But because of that, I've occasionally been like, well, I don't know what's in this next room, so I won't save. And then it turns out it's the boss fight.
Always save.
Yeah, I learned that twice. 2 bosses I did that on. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't care. I'm assuming that they've put these things in the right place that I should want max health.
Yeah.
The first time I died was because I walked in at 3/4 health into a big boss fight. It was like, I was just, damn it.
Yeah. And another thing that some people might find good, other people might not like it, but you can grind for XP and level up, but as soon as you hit a level where it's okay, you're just literally going to steamroll the next boss, we don't want that, so we're literally just going to put a cap on the XP. If you still kill enemies, you're getting minuscule amounts of XP.
Really? Or nothing.
And it's just or actually nothing. I usually see like, oh, it's like +1 XP when the next level's like 10,000 points away or something.
So after like the 4th chapter, I went back to the
Yeah.
1st chapter because I missed a chest somewhere, and then I was getting nothing from the.
All right, yeah. It's a way to signpost. It's like, no, look, we don't want this game to be. You just breeze through it, grind for like 11 hours and then just steamroll everybody. We've made it so it's manageable enough where you're having to use a bit of strategy, but you're not going to die 100 times in a row.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want a bit of challenge for you. So I thought that was really, really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I guess the one thing you could do is grind for money to buy crafting materials. So basically, the way upgrading works is there's a mysterious caravan lady, robot lady, who just shows up in each chapter at a different location, and you can walk in and you can either buy accessories, 2 slots, just like in normal RPGs, new weapons, which again will do that, give you a different bonus hit if you do 3 in a row, or you can craft cards. Some battles will give you cards as rewards, but most of the time your new cards are going to be chests. Yeah. But most of the time your new cards are going to be going to this lady and crafting them, which is nice because basically each time you encounter her, another card for each, almost always another card for each character will be available.
Yeah.
And then you can just so you can sort of pre-plan like, oh, okay, I might craft this next time because I know that's there. And then usually they come in synergistic pairs.
And you can upgrade cards and classical RPG, like there's different enemies that respond to different attacks. Like some might be you've got a whole like bestiary that you can look through, like Grimoire kind of thing. Just look at like each enemy's like how
you can also do it in the battle, which I only found out a couple chapters in.
It's really useful.
Plus card, you immediately get a sub where you go use the magnifying glass, and it'll tell you what this beast's weak or strong to. Which really helps.
So you can rotate in your deck of 8. Like, okay, this level is going to be filled primarily with enemies who, are very weak against ice attacks. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to load all my characters with like ice attacks. So, or at least like the mages.
And the boss is a big iceberg. Just It sounds like they've made a really competent kind of RPG, but thrown in this sort of this card-based system as well. But at least from kind of what you're saying, have kept that Steamworld kind of aesthetic to it.
Yeah,
it can be very easily recognizable as a Steamworld game and tie in. I know that it's like a Steamworld as a universe or a galaxy. At least the different planets have different kind of various
really
robot kind of civilizations that have got to various points that a fantasy RPG is kind of very feasible in that sort of sense. But it sounds like they've been able to kind of work in the idea of having something, or at least a completely different kind of genre, while still keeping that Steamworld vibe to it.
Fully, it's got that like same charm and all the robot clanking.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I didn't care about the story. It was almost to the point where it's like I'm just skipping through dialogue at this point.
Yeah.
But I've never come to those games with a story. It's always been about the gameplay, which is always fantastic. And it's a game that on paper I would never like, but it's because it's from Image and it's like I will try whatever those guys put out.
Yeah.
Like I don't like turn-based strategy games. So and yet I played Heist and Quest, and I really liked both of them. And then a reasonable person would be like, Lucy, maybe you like these. No shit, I don't.
Nice. Aadil, you got any final thoughts on Steamworld Quest?
No, except to say that it's the reason why I didn't end up starting or going back to Octopath while I've been traveling. I've sort of picked it up. I play it in really short bursts. Sometimes it's just a fight or two. I really like that. It's really digestible because of because it's these like So, I mean, there's no random battles. Like, you literally, when you phase into one of these sort of platform rooms, you can see the enemies. And like I said, you can try and get to them before they spot you and hit them with an attack to get sort of a bit of a timing bonus.
Yeah.
But other than that, the one thing that's a little weird is it might show you like 2 of the bomb characters on the screen, and then when the fight starts, 2 random other guys join them, and you're like, okay, this is, it's sort of weird. Because,
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's weirdly disconnecting because it's sort of seems like it's showing you the whole world, but actually it's
and it's not like it's like a so old where they could only show like one sprite. It's like, okay, you could easily show all the things that's going to be in this battle. I never actually thought, but it was never it was never too much of a. I never actually, if I didn't think about it, it wasn't at all a distraction or a disadvantage for me.
I don't think it's a huge knock. It just was a little, it takes you back a couple times.
Yeah. If you want to plan ahead and think, oh yeah, I should have these cards in my deck because these characters are going to be there, then sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably why that's not all obvious, because then you could really just quickly hit pause, to jump in the menu, swap your deck out.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there isn't a way of doing loadout. Sort of like, this could be my fire deck, this could be my ice deck, which is kind of annoying, but also means that I end up trying. I don't really change my deck too much, but when I do, I'm like, oh well, I might as well try this other card anyways, rather than finding a deck that's reasonably good and just plowing through.
I think up to like the last couple of chapters, I think there's 19 in total. I think up to maybe like chapter 14, I was rotating in and out of cards, but I found my build like towards the end. It's like, I'm going to stick with this.
Nice.
But I found out while I was switching cards way more than I was switching characters. I didn't use the other 2. I mean, I was curious about them. I was just like, no. I got my Pikachu, and he's clearly useless, and I should have ditched him a long time ago. But
well, I mean, it's a well-balanced party to start you off. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure. Good, whereas Pikachu is absolute arse. Apart from against Misty and that.
Great against Misty. Rubbish.
Stormy.
If you're looking for a nice, easygoing, satisfying RPG or sort of unique aesthetic game, I think this fits both bills.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Sure.
And like Lucy said, the narrative is there's some bad robots that are the Void, and they kidnapped all of the heroes from the Heroes Guild, and you're the Misfits, and then you find other people. It doesn't really matter. Because then their little plot has happened. Like, so.
Yeah. Good. Right, I'm going to open another beer.
Yeah,
cool.
I agree.
I'm going to
you're just
drink this now cold coffee.
Cold
tasty.
coffee, the best kind of coffee. I'm going to open, hopefully, what I think is the best beer ever. That's always the hope every time you have a beer. But I am drinking the, I think, the much lauded collaboration between North Brewing Company and Other Half. It's a double IPA. It's 8.3%. I don't know whether this beer has a name. It just says DIPA with Other Half.
Is it not one of their patrons, or is it just...
No, it's North Brewing Company.
Oh, North, sorry, I thought you said Northern Monkey. Oh, right,
this one, North Brewing Company with Other Half, and that is all I'm getting.
Just DIPA.
Exactly. They don't give me anything. The ingredients are water, barley, oats, hops, and yeast. So I'm getting nothing from this.
Sounds like a beer, Check this out.
Has the ingredients.
May not be the best one ever, but sounds like it's going to be a beer. Yeah, I'm drinking a beer from Verdant, and it's called Wow. You can really see that. It's 6.2%. And it's called Wow Signal.
Is it the IPA or the pale?
It's just the IPA.
Okay, so I had this a few weeks ago, and again, as you did with my first bit, I'll leave it there. I'll wait.
It's got Let's have Best Ale, Golden Promise, German Pils, Rye Malt, Premium Cara, Magnum, Chinook, Centennial, Citra Hops. Does this mean that the brewer's Joshua Wardman? That's nice if they put
No,
that on there.
that's the yeast.
That's the name of a yeast?
Mm.
Really?
I want a yeast named after me.
Ooh, I'm not sure you do.
Be a good one that's in all the beers. Let's have a look. The Wow signal was a strong, narrow band radio signal received on August 15th, 1977 by Ohio State University Gear Radio Telescope in the United States, then used to support the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Okay. I was like, where is this going? Is this like some, I don't know anything about Ohio State University. It's like, oh, search for ET. Like, cool, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have some crazy.
I think I had this on an episode with you, Aadil, and Adam, so a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see what you think about it, Lucy. So, this North Brewing Company and Other Half double IPA, it is sort of pure juice. Looking at it, it has that yellowy orange colour. It's so thick, or at least it looks so super thick. It's got a nice light, sort of very fluffy head to it. It's got a lovely smell. Very sort of just a sweet tropical sort of smell to it. And that flavour doesn't give you that big juice bomb that you're kind of looking at in the smell and in the flavour. There is a little sweet, almost kind of maybe caramelly kind of malt going on in there as well, creeping in. It's not that big hoppy double IPA I was expecting. The malts are very present, which is really interesting. Might be that light sweetness I'm getting off the nose perhaps, but it starts off with that fruitiness, but almost a little stewed kind of fruitiness, almost a little kind of alcohol-y just to begin.
Right.
And then that sort of that malty, that caramelly kind of malty essence seeps in very slightly.
Right.
And as you're kind of having those fruits at the beginning, you expect this bitterness to kind of come in, but it doesn't really ever appear. Like you're kind of waiting, and the malts kind of kicking. You thinking there is a bitterness here somewhere. It doesn't actually come in from anywhere. And it's kind of, it's odd because it's that after the malts, it's kind of the combination of that fruit and that malts that sort of stick around with you. And those fruits, it's really hard to pick out what those fruits are as well. It's kind of, it is tropical. It's got a little bit of citrus in there, but whether that's maybe more of a combination of something like pineapple and orange, or maybe a little bit of mango in there and pineapple, something like that.
Yeah.
It's ranging around those, something that's got a slight bit of sweetness to it, which is then contributing in towards the malt as well, and a slightly dried, kind of slightly bitter fruit that's in there as well, that's just kind of almost sucking away quite a lot.
Right.
This is another beer I'm not that taken with.
Yeah.
And it's an odd week. This is a
Strange
really
one,
odd
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I mean, the nose doesn't give
any of that away.
any of that. I mean, the nose and the flavour are going to start to merge together the more I've been drinking it, sort of thing. But the nose is giving that light tropical kind of note to it, and maybe just that hint of sweetness in there as well. But I think almost as soon as you drink it, it's kind of those slightly stewed tropical fruits. But yeah, odd, really odd. I don't know about this. I don't know. I have to drink it more.
Like it's like a bit of fermented cider scrumpy.
Almost. It is getting towards that level, definitely. Yeah. That you're kind of, we are, even though it's north and it's other half, we are getting into the realms of, you come along and you have this you can have a double IPA and it's a big juice bomb and you've got that. And if you go to cider, you have that nice crisp, refreshing kind of cider that you can pick up really crisp out of the bottle. And then you go to Old Rosie or something like that, and it is just pure murk.
Yeah.
And it is just sort of soupy and syrupy. And this kind of is to double IPAs as Old Rosie is to cider almost. It has that sort of slight viscous element to it. It's a little bit soupy. It's a little bit stewy. It's not giving me a bitterness. It's not giving me a beeriness. That I would sort of think I was getting from a double IPA that maybe wasn't as fruity as the sort of the juice bomb level of IPA. It's almost as if sort of you've got juice bombs and then you've got dank double IPAs, and this is kind of ranging more towards that sort of that dankness, but it doesn't give you that hoppy dankness quite yet. There's something just missing from giving you that sort of that dank hoppy double IPA element to it. So yeah, I should drink more and I shall investigate.
See if it grows on you. Yeah.
Yes. Lucy.
Yeah.
Wow. Signal.
Wow, Signal. Yeah, when I picked this up from the Wolf, good friends at the Wolf, guys in there were like, it's very different to any other Verdant beer. So I had my tempers, my expectation tempers. They were like this thing. It's very mild. And yeah, it's definitely more on the malty side than it is, because they usually just have like juice bombs. Like when you think of Bloom and Pulp and all those beers, it's just like full on, IPA juice bombs. But this is much different. Like even in just like look, but usually their beers are like straw coloured. This is very murky, but it's like a light amber, dark orange colour. Nice bit of head, about one finger head. But yeah, it's definitely malt forward, but it's not. Because I've had so many beers where it's like, oh yeah, we're an IPA, but no, you're just putting in a mega shit ton of worth of malt in it, and it's just you're just getting too much malt, and it just becomes this is all too sweet and too caramel. It's like there's not much else going on. Not getting that bitterness. It's just a bit too sweet.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it definitely has that sweetness from, but it feels like it's pared back. It's very light. I mean, the other beer that I was drinking before, it still had that like slight viscosity, whereas this feels very watery. Not watery in a bad sense, but watery in like, those malts are not just. It's not the overpowering thing. It is what I'm still tasting now, but it's not like, oh yeah, this is very thick and syrupy and very sweet and caramel. It's like, it's very thin in body, so it's just like, the malts just gets washed over.
Yeah.
Not to the point where you can't taste them anymore, but the point where it's not overpoweringly so, because you're not getting a lot of fruits. It is mainly just caramel, but it's not to the extent where it's overpowering.
Sure.
It tastes like a light, fluffy gingerbread.
So I think my can was not very good, and it wasn't anything to do with a Verdant expectation. It wasn't anything to do with a style kind of expectation. I remember it being very, very sort of sicky in taste.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and definitely I don't think what they were, even with the style and what they're looking to do, I don't think that what I experienced from it was right. I really want to try another can, to to sort of see if it was just my palate being like, no, there's something wrong here, or if the can I had, which I think it is, there was an issue with, which I hope there was.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, my expectations were tempered, but I can see where maybe, as you say, we don't know if there's something wrong with that particular can, but it's definitely got that like orange taste to it, like that.
Yeah.
You know, that like tangerine taste to it, and like just thinking about just drinking it, it's like, I don't know if it's probably the yeast that they've used, but it's like, oh yeah, those verdant like roots are in there. It's like, oh yeah, it's bringing me back to like drinking Bloom and Pulp and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It still tastes like a verdant, but it's just not what you'd think would come from them. If you thought very long and hard about it, you'd be like, that tastes like a verdant beer, but yeah, in look, appearance, you know, malt forward, it's not really their style. They're usually like tons of hops, tons of fruit. Whereas this is just like sweet, malty caramel orange. But it's not. It's like I've had so many beers where it is just like, oh, we've made an IPA and it's all just malt. You know, understandably so, like hops are expensive. But, you know, it's just like malt and nothing else. And it's like, like some. Yeah, but this is not that for me.
Yeah, completely. And I mean, I even emailed Verdant and said, "Hey guys, this is what I've experienced with this beer," and I can't remember the fellow's name, but the head brewer emailed me back and said, "Hey, this doesn't actually, you know, what you've described isn't what we experience with this beer, and it's not what we, you know, even with the kind of the feedback that we've been getting from people saying this isn't a Verdant beer, blah 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 blah." It wasn't the same as the feedback that they'd kind of been getting back. So
maybe a little bit of diacetyl.
Who knows what may have been an issue. I even remember sort of commenting on the episode saying that I'd seen a little bit of negativity surrounding the beer, and you know, I would hope that would never cloud my judgment of sort of what I'm tasting. So I would really like to have another one.
Yeah, I think it's worth it because, like, you know, I've had those kinds of beers where it's like, it's just like syrup, you know, and it's just like all caramel. Whereas this is not it, purely because, as I say, it's got that watery texture and it just washes over like that. Any kind of like real strength that malt forward, you know, kind of beer would bring to it. So, you know, it's decent. I'm enjoying it. It's going down well. Yeah.
So let's move on. We haven't got long left this evening. So Lucy, I'll jump to you to talk about your games that you've been playing.
In that case, I'll leave Void Bastards till next week, because that's fine. I haven't finished it yet. I am enjoying it. But yeah, I think that's one that is worth going in depth a little bit more next week. I'll just run quickly down the games that I've been playing since I was last on.
The hundreds of lists.
It's only a few, and then I'll dig into the weeds on just one other game, I think. Since we're talking about Steamworld Quest, I did want to bring that up, so that's good we're talking about that. I'm just going through the Castlevania games. I played, I don't know the names of the Game Boy ones, Castlevania The Adventure and Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. Yeah, for anyone who likes the look of the collection, I was just hesitant because it is Konami. But, you know, in the year of our Lord 2019, decent. Like collection, it's, you could say I wouldn't say it's bare bones. There's 8 games in it. It's not all the 2D Castlevania games, but it's the start. Can't be bothered to rattle them off here, but Kid Dracula, the first time we're getting it over here, and it's been localized. I started that one. It's like a cutesy, chibi looking Dracula, and it controls well, but it's not the Castlevania I know, you know.
Yeah.
It's very light-hearted. I like, well, demonic imagery. Yeah, and like weird, weird like church choir guitars in the background.
Yeah. Has
But,
it got some? Is the collection got Bloodlines on? 'Cause I know
Yes.
that's one of the. It has. Okay. It's one
That's
of the
what
games
I'm gonna move to next,
that's
yeah.
coming out on the Mega Drive Mini
Oh,
retro
okay, cool.
consoles.
Nice.
You mean the Genesis Mini? Is that what?
Yeah.
That's just a tiny Phil Collins.
See, but if it's a Mega Drive Mini, doesn't that just make it a drive?
Yeah.
You have a good point there. Yeah, it just cancels each other out, doesn't it?
So America get a mini Funko Phil Collins, and we just get a drive. Someone comes and lays a new patio, new load of fucking brickwork out the front of your house that you can park your car
I was
on.
thinking,
English is
what's
absurd.
his name? Ryan.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, just he delivers every single copy of the console to your front door in a leather jacket.
They would make money at 100 times the price.
But yeah, it's a good collection. You've got save states, so I've been save scumming the hell out of the game. It's only got one save state, so
For the whole collection?
no, for each game. So it's like I've played these games enough not to soft lock myself out the game. It's like I know when if there's an auto scrolling level, I'm not gonna save until that level's done because there's always some bullshit around every single in those games. Dracula's still impossible in every single game. So yeah, save scumming them. Probably move on to Blood next. Yeah, it's a good collection. You can change the filters on each game times. Certain filters look better on certain games. Like I've been playing the pixel perfect, like how it used to look on the Game Boy games.
Okay.
It runs better.
Snapchat filters where
Yeah. Alucard is wearing cat ears. Yes. Makes Dracula less.
why would you use these filters? I thought you didn't like the chibi.
Yeah, but it's a good collection. I'm looking to pick up the Contra one. I've got good faith in that. After playing this, what else? I played Gatto Roboto, the Meowtrovania. Yes. Ben, that wasn't the game you wanted to talk about, was it?
It was one of the games I was going to talk about.
Okay, well, I'll save that then.
No, let's just get into it now, mate.
You want to get into it now?
At the end of your list, and it'll segue into Ben's chunk.
We'll talk about in Ben's chunk, because there's a game that I really want to
Alright, talk about the game you really want to talk about.
Yeah.
I own that game because I got it for free on an online Facebook group quiz, but I don't have a PC, so I can't play it.
Yes.
You can play it. Or do you only have a Mac?
I don't have a PC.
That game can run on a Nokia.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm just saying the copy I have.
Yeah, it's PC.
When I click on it in Steam, it says invalid platform. Please go to hell.
Ooh.
Fair.
Boom.
Yeah, just running down a few more quick. I played Part-Time UFO on iOS. Now it's from HAL Laboratory made Box Boy and Kirby. It's a little claw machine thing, and you have to balance things with each other. That's cool.
Oh.
Kids, which is a game from a company called Playables, published by Double Fine. It's like some weird artsy interactive black and white vignettes game, which I think is talking about social conformity, but it leaves everything to your imagination because it's very abstract.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's about half an hour long. Picked it up for £1.38. Yeah, it was interesting. Those games are weird. It's like something you'd see at a museum. You just think.
Double Fine seem to have this way of publishing. They make games, but they also publish a lot of games which just don't seem like they'd ever be picked up by anyone else to ever publish.
Yeah, I love that.
They just seem to have this very sort of artsy look on things, and to pick out these games that they're like, yeah, this does something completely different that we've never thought about before.
Yeah. They made a previous game called Plug and Play, and that was weird as well. But yeah, it's like something that you'd see in a museum, and you just go and click on it, and it's like, this is weird and a bit gross and intriguing. Like these human Pillsbury Doughboy people just running around and flopping about and going through birth canals and stuff. But Last game I quickly want to talk about is I, on a whim, purchased The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS.
Oh,
It's great. It's great. It's great.
yeah.
It's better than Breath of the Wild by a long shot. But
How hard is it?
You're turning into an RPG player.
that's not an RPG.
Oh, it
Because
is.
all the fighting is you just slash. It's actually got good combat. It's 2D top down. It's like
Yeah, it's called
all you
an
do is
action
slash,
RPG.
but it's not an RPG.
It totally is.
It's not, because you
It
get
is.
the items in different. You don't have to find or anything like that. You just collect these. It's not an RPG. Come on.
I think
Grinding
No,
isn't
I get what you're saying,
exclusive
but
to
I-
RPGs. That's not a defining characteristic of an
definitely
RPG.
I
definitely
think
is. I've never
Lucy
seen Zelda as an
thinks
RPG though. I
that
never.
they are. So I think the problem is when Lucy says RPG,
I don't know.
she means JRPG.
No, because I don't like Western RPGs either.
Like Zelda. You definitely the last two
That's
Zelda
not
games you
Western.
tried. Definitely not like them. They're
No,
Western
I don't
style
know.
though. They're not JRPG style, right? Like
I don't know. I've always thought of them as like adventure games. I've never thought of them as like RPGs. Maybe, I mean, this is just a very like stupid, nebulous
Yeah, I mean,
kind of genre anyway. But it's like I've just never seen.
I'm glad that this you like and enjoy and are trying these type of games. Also, you need to play Link to the Past. You just need to.
I started Link to the Past because this is like kind of a not a retelling, but like it's like a semi-sequel to Link to the Past, which I had no idea about. But I think Link to the Past is phenomenal, but I just haven't finished it, because I'm waiting for it to come to Switch. Because I've got it on 3DS. It's just I don't know why I just don't play. Yeah,
you'll have to pay another £8, but it will.
I should, but I should just play it on 3DS. But I just hate 3DS because it's so blooming small. Even the XL, it's just so small. My hands, they're numb after 10 minutes. But yeah, it is really, really good game. Like it makes Breath of the Wild's dungeons seem even worse in comparison, because it's like I did not like those dungeons in Breath of the Wild, and yeah, they're even worse now in retrospect. Because Link Between Worlds, it's got great art, great music, great little puzzle box dungeons. I liked the story. Combat's good, albeit very simple, and yeah, it just does everything better than Breath of the Wild does, apart from exploration. And the art style in Breath of the Wild's phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild does exploration better than probably any other game out there, but everything else it fucked.
Quite literally.
It does, yeah. Those weapons. Yeah, the master one, even splinters.
Gone.
Yeah, I still love Breath of the Wild regardless, but it is flawed in many ways. But the game that I wanted to talk about, that go on a rant about Breath of the Wild, is a game called Astrologaster.
Okay.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, it's really good, Aadil. I think you'd really enjoy it. I think you'd really
It's like less gameplay, more hilarious narrative.
Yeah, it's not gamey at all. It's like it's just more interactive. I guess you could call it a visual novel. It's set in 16. It's on. I think it's on. Yes, it's on PC. It's on iOS for sure. Not sure about Android. But it's a game that's set in the 1600s. No, 1500s, going up to through the early 1600s. It starts when the bubonic plague hit England, and most of the doctors fled the country. Well, not even the country, like most cities, and it's like, okay, we're done. But there was this one guy who's actually who used to be a living human being. This is made up fiction, called Simon Foreman, who actually was an astrologer and a quack doctor, because he never actually practiced studied medicine, but he would give people medical advice and fortunes by telling them, the signs amongst the stars, like that. And he wrote several case books, and this game is, loosely inspired by what was in those case books. and you know, the game features, you know, real world characters, not characters, people, and you know, historical figures, and it's so good. It's so funny. It's just because you wouldn't think this is real, but it is, and that's what makes that's the base of its humor. You wouldn't think, oh, someone's got a cough or hemorrhoids or something. You're telling them to like go take a corpse, you know, the hand of a corpse, and rub it on their throat, and it's like these were actual like
medical,
yeah, quote unquote medical, like remedies that he would assign. And it's got this like 2D pop-up book aesthetic, because their previous game called Tengami, which is a really fun game, you know, check that out as well, which was set in like ancient Edo era Japan or something, little pop-up adventure book. Had more mechanics than this, but it's got a nice, that nice 2D aesthetic pop-up book kind of thing, and it's very simple. It starts with, okay, you're going to see a patient. It has this nice little like choir singing this, you know, comedic ditty.
I've seen a clip of it.
Yeah, it's
so
like madrigal, like
it's like a full-on like 25-person choir singing the lines that tell you the story of the new case.
Exactly, and it's really good. And it's like it immediately draws you into that like time period and that the humor, and yeah, it's just like, okay, I saw that, well, heard it, and it was like, okay, I'm all in on this game immediately. Played it like 90% of it, like all through in one day. And yeah, it's you're basically it's part puzzly by you having to read what the clients want, what kind of, you know, listen to their symptoms, think, okay, I'm gonna, even though it's giving you so many different astrological signs, it's like, okay, this sign, I should think that, oh, they've been bewitched by some kind of witch, or, oh no, this is just a common cold, or something like that. So it's a bit of common sense in like, what should I, you know, prescribe them. But sometimes it is just funny. Like, I once told this guy he's like was pregnant, and it's like, oh, that's possible. It's just nice seeing that. So just like, you know what, I could just give him the right thing, or I could just tell him, no, mate, you're pregnant. See if you feel it. But the game does, you know, it does a good thing in channeling you down the right direction, and it does take to know some like historical background. So like my Key Stage 1 history was coming back to me. It's like, oh yeah, King James succeeded Elizabeth I, who thought? But so yeah, and they do, if you don't know that historical context, the dialogue does give you clues as to, yeah, because I would have been completely lost on them. But yeah, it's really charming, it's really funny. It's one of those where it's like, it doesn't require much of you. It has it's light puzzle element on like what to diagnose, and because at the end of the day you are looking for 8 letters of recommendation to send to like the Guild of Physicians so that they grant you a medical license so you can practice medicine for real. So you are trying to do the right thing. You aren't just trying to mess people by telling them. Yeah, it's good. Pick it up. Nice. I think it's like £4 on iOS, £5 on PC.
So is it kind of, does it, you say it's kind of like this, it's got a little bit of a historic kind of element to it, you know, so is it kind of, does it follow sort of like the idea of like the 4 humours, you know, like black bile, phlegm, blood?
Yes. Yeah, it does,
yeah. Okay.
All that
interesting.
Stuff. Yeah, I think I know, Aadil, you definitely dig it. Ben, I think you'd like it as well, because I think it's Aadil's kind of humor.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, it's definitely worth. It's just charming and ridiculous. It's ridiculous, mainly. Gosh, yeah. Times were like this when people.
Yeah,
rub a dead frog all over you. Sorry, what was that?
And actually not that long ago.
No, hundreds of years rather than thousands.
Thousands, yeah. 400 years ago.
I was having a quick look. It's not on Google Play.
I think it's
When you
twice the
type
price
in
on
when you type in
PC.
Astrologaster,
Yeah.
you get a lot of astrology apps.
Astrologaster? With a
No,
G?
Astrologaster. Is that what you said? Astrologaster.
No, Gaster. It's Gaster with a G.
Oh, I misheard then. Okay, let's try that one.
It's alright.
Astrologaster.
Neither Astrologaster is not. As far as I know. But yeah,
Well, I thought
It's a-
kind of Astrologaster
Astrologaster
kind of sounded
would say-
right, didn't it? 'Cause of
yeah.
the, but even Astrologaster, no.
I'll
The
put it
third
on your
app down
Steam
is a Weatherspoons app.
Go there for all your astrology.
Fuck knows what the fuck that's about.
Oh, yeah,
All the fucking yellow bile in there.
I mean, I'll keep an eye out for drops on Google Play because it is. I mean, it's not essential to the experience, but that nice pop-up thing, just swipe finger,
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
it's fine. But yeah, it'd work easily as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Go out and play it.
I shall.
Everybody.
Well, yeah, I shall probably wait until it's available on
Yeah.
Google Play, perhaps.
Definitely.
So nice. I know you mentioned Gatto Roboto.
But we're
And
gonna
it is-
skip it.
It is one of the two
Yeah,
games that I wanted to.
Yeah,
to
talk about the other
I
one. We'll talk about that
don't
next
think
week.
we've got any time to talk about any of the games.
Went
that I
too
wanted to talk
long.
about. I know. Unfortunately.
Just tell us what the other one was, because I'm curious.
So the other game was Observation.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear about that. I want to play it.
Yeah,
Get out of there.
I'm
Get out of
basically
there.
the same way. It's been a good stretch of games I want to play.
I only want
So-
to hear about the cat game.
I didn't even realise until I'd finished Observation that it was a Devolver Digital published game.
Yeah, it is.
And that both of the games I want to talk about this week were Devolver Digital based games. Like the only conference I'm going to be tuning into during E3 over the next few days.
Look at this fanboy over here.
Mate, I mean, neither of those games were even mentioned in the
You
last
watched
fucking
the
E3
Stadia
conference.
thing,
Like,
and you won't even watch
mate,
about
I
Luigi's
very
Mansion 3.
swiftly scrubbed through the Stadia thing.
The fact that
Okay.
you'd
Wanna
even
talk about it
tune
anyway.
in, the fact that you'd even tune in and just disregard Xbox just because you're a PlayStation.
Oh no, mate. There's
Mate,
going
just
to be
gonna-
a video. There's going to be a video going up at some point tomorrow on the Out of Lives Facebook page, which is my 5 wants of E3, and one of them is to
For
know.
Sony to turn up.
No, yes, Sony to turn up is one of them. Yeah, no, not to turn up, but just for them to have some kind of like, hey, everyone's been here. This is here's the Last of Us date. Fuck you, and then just run away again.
This
But
fanboy over
One of
here.
the things I want is to know what Ninja Theory are doing. I want to know.
You're never gonna play it.
No, but I am. See, I love Ninja Theory enough.
You're gonna buy all the Xbox. You're gonna buy original Xbox. You're gonna buy
and then
360.
the
You're
one that
gonna buy
doesn't have a hard drive, the one that has the biggest
the
hard drive.
R2D2.
Exactly.
The one that
Yes,
streams
what?
from a Google Stadia browser window.
It won't be. No. Microsoft are
The
gonna
one
do
that is
their.
just a giant server delivered directly to my house to sit in there and let everyone else play from.
Microsoft are going to have something better than Google Stadia, but the
Oh, no
caveat
doubt.
is that you have to play in Edge.
Oh no. Oh, well done.
You can play your
Hey.
games anywhere as long as down Edge.
Isn't Flash Player dead?
iOS.
Isn't that being Flash players being phased out or
Oh, isn't it?
Oh, Flash has been.
something's
What
being
about
phased out?
QuickTime? Is it not QuickTime?
Well, fuck knows what is being phased out. Something's being phased out. You're never going to be able to play it again.
I hope it's not
definitely
Edge, 'cause that's how I get my
Edge is
Microsoft
around.
points.
Edge is going to be here for years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing his
gonna take
guitar, annoying everybody.
That's the only way you're going to
Um,
play Ninja. That was the only way to play Ninja Theory's new game, via Edge, would you play it?
Mm.
Because I wouldn't.
Um, Is it suddenly going to cause my computer to crash because it's using 98% of the available memory
Yeah.
to be able to actually play.
Yeah.
Probably
Anyway,
won't play it.
you'll have to download the Edge app on your PlayStation 4.
Oh god.
Uh,
That's
No,
what they mean by upcoming platform openness, is that they'll just put Edge on.
We've
know
got
what?
14 new games no one's ever seen, and they're all available right now on Edge. Everyone instantly pukes.
the thing is that people don't realise that like 7 of those games are like the Gears Funko Pop.
Oh, it's the same games they've shown. Oh, completely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So
In
I hope
film
one
we-
of those. I
I
hope one
can't
of
wait
those
till
is
the
the
Edge 360.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Edge 1, Edge 2, Edge X.
The Edge of the
Oh,
Circle.
Edge X, mate.
Oof.
That's the one where you don't need a UK porn pass or whatever the fuck is being legislated.
I hope they call the
to
next
use.
Xbox Triple Xbox. I really hope they do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all your gaming needs. You know what I do like about Xbox? That I don't know if like, I think I just noticed this like just watching YouTube on Switch, but it's like you have to close. Yeah, I do that. Like, you have to close like the app before going into a new one. Like, you have to do that on PlayStation? Do you have to like, if you want to go from Netflix to like YouTube, you have to close the YouTube app?
No.
No.
Oh, no, you
don't.
It'll
Does it
just
automatically?
tell
alright.
you it's gonna.
No, but it
blow
does
up.
close it.
It
Yeah.
does close it, yes.
Yeah, that's what I love about Xbox. It keeps YouTube open, that instance open, so you can like
Nice,
just switch
okay,
between
nice.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why I just love my Xbox as like a media player. It's
So,
just
like,
sorry.
so yeah, PlayStation does it in the way that it will suspend a game, and then you can go into
video
Netflix.
Really,
so
you have
you
to
could- you
suspend the
could-
game as well.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to. It will do it automatically.
No, but Xbox,
So-
you can just switch in between. Nothing's
Yeah,
suspended.
so you can.
Yeah.
You
Well, that's
can
what he means
you
by
can-
suspending.
So
He
yeah,
means like
suspend
it's on
in
pause.
the sense that it will stop where it is, and then you can just instantly switch back to the game. So you can switch between a
okay,
game and say Netflix,
I get you.
or a game and your library of images and videos that you've taken, or
But you
know,
can't
other-
do that
other things that you've
between
done.
media
But-
apps.
But you can't.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't do that between Netflix
Yeah.
and YouTube or iPlayer.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Things
That's what.
that are
Yeah.
kind of contained within that like app sort of sphere, I suppose.
Yeah, I really like that about Xbox. So that's probably because like they had like half the GPU assigned to like Connect and like TV apps. So
That's doing
probably
absolutely
why.
nothing now. Yeah.
That's probably why. But yeah, I'd love that in the new. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but yeah, I'd like that in the new console, and I'd be upset if it wasn't there.
You'll
And
see
I want the
it this
HDMI
Saturday.
Nah,
Sunday,
whatever.
maybe.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
I think people get hyped up for Xbox conferences. It's just like, yeah,
Mate,
you
people
know?
get hyped up for
Yeah.
fucking everything.
True. It's just like, yeah, they're just doing their thing. I just more interested about this because they're never going to have any, well, not any, but more than one, like, or two, like, exclusive franchises that I care about, and that's fine.
No, yeah,
like-
completely, and that's more than fine. But Xbox kind of have the, Xbox have the platform this year to sort of do what they want.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to blow anybody's socks off, though. It's like, why talk about it? And why get people like, oh, they're going to show the box? It's like, why nobody can pre-order it now? You know, when they're still getting parts from
Exactly.
Nvidia.
They
They're gonna do that.
don't know what the form factor will be because they've got no idea
Yeah.
what the size of those parts will be. They don't know what they can fit in
Yeah.
to certain size sort of boxes
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah, I mean,
And people are like, this is their biggest their biggest E3 ever. It's like, no, it's because Sony's not there. They don't have to do crap all.
no,
they
they
could
don't.
literally
They don't have
just
to do
show.
anything, which is why it's really interesting. And it'd
Yeah.
be like just Phil walks on and goes, games. And there's a trailer plays behind him, and he doesn't have
I'd
to do
rather
anything.
they show nothing.
Just drops to the floor, just
bring
roams about for 5 minutes. Like, oh, he's having some kind of fit. Okay, sure. All right. Well, we've got some
that's
medical
gonna be
staff out there
Devolver.
who'll place some more trailers of games.
That's gonna be the Devolver con.
Yeah.
You know it is. Didn't she like her head explode or something in one of them?
No,
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
in the last one she got decapitated or she got disemboweled or
Yeah, something
Yeah.
to that, man.
Yeah, and then the final sort of video they played was her on an operating table. So
Yes.
I assume with the Devolver conference it's just going to be full-on robot coming out.
Nice.
Hopefully,
because
cat
they got that
robot.
Metal Wolf thing, don't
Yes,
they?
they have got yes. Which hasn't come out yet.
I'm really interested in Battletoads. What the hell is that going to be in 2019?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Gears
guess
5? Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't need to see Gears 5. I want to see this Battletoads.
I hope
Imagine
it's
if
just
it
like
was-
a remaster.
I'd
With
love
the
it if
same
it was like a
shaping
gritty
levels and impossible
remaster.
design.
I'd love if it was like a gritty...
super gritty remaster.
Yeah, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
gritty, like Double Dragon. Kind of
If
thing.
it's all just browns and greens. Dark greens.
Yeah. I really want a Ninja Turtle game from Rocksteady.
That'd be really good.
Gritty Ninja Turtles game.
Rocksteady aren't there.
Yeah, they're not, but that's what I want from them.
I mean, fuck
I don't
Batman
want to-
completely.
Yeah, I think
they need to do.
Batman's
They
fine.
need to do something else.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Gritty
completely.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I'd be very, very happy with that. I see there's the it's been floating about for a week or so. The remaster of the Ghostbusters
Oh,
game
yeah.
coming out.
That's coming out. Yeah.
And that's fine, but actually, just to have like uber violent
I'd
new
play that.
Ghostbusters game, yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
Like super
not-
brutal, like with things exploding
Everyone
everywhere and
thinks
really
Ghostbusters-
fucking scary ghosts. Like, you know, it doesn't quite jive with the aesthetic of the films.
Well, the films were dark-ish. Well, I guess
they
when
were
you're like
darkish.
young.
Yeah, completely. And you've got that, especially when suddenly they realise
When Sigourney Weaver turns into a demon.
Yeah, like even the music in that sort of scene is quite sort of dark in the way that it sort of like flows through the city, and it's not kind of like all kind of happy ghosts floating around. It's actually shit scary things that they're scaring lots and lots of people. It does have its dark moments, but I want a Ghostbusters game that's, you know, you've got the power to deal with these things, but it's shit scary. It's like Outlast or Soma or something like that, but with kind of with the ability to deal with things, and you have to kind of overcome that that initial fear, that initial jump, to actually get out what you've got. And maybe it's a bit cumbersome, and you've got kind of like to, you know, control it in a certain way and stuff like that.
You're just describing one game that's already out there.
Ooh,
Luigi's Mansion.
Nice.
That's the best Ghostbusters game.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to that.
I'll
really.
buy a Wii U tomorrow.
The Wii U's dead. We do not speak of the Wii U. I dare you. Do not speak ill of the dead.
Oh,
I'm looking forward
Good.
to Luigi's Mansion 3. Listen to Out of Rupees to find out more.
yeah, it's probably coming, right?
Yeah, probably this year. They said this year.
Hmm.
That's probably my. Well, I am looking forward to Mario Maker. Nintendo have got a good year.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
the best game of all time came out, Box Boy and Box Girl,
Yeah.
and they had DLC for Captain Toad. Best
We
year.
say it's an easy year for Microsoft, but actually, and Nintendo have already shown what the new Pokemon game is going to be. So you can imagine whatever they're going to be doing for E3.
They've got
needs to
Gears
kind of-
5, and I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, Sony had Medieval and Death Stranding,
Yeah. Last
which
of Us
looks
2
very interesting.
Next year,
That's-
probably.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima next year.
Yeah. Was it Death Stranding you spoke about last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't bring it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cinematography for that looks cool. I like the vibe, like that sinister vibe. But the gameplay,
Strand game.
I
mate.
hope it's good. I hope it's good.
New genre, Strand game.
Yeah, because I'm glad that's coming first. Because out of all the games that I wanted to play on, I want to play on PS5. It is The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Death Stranding, even though my PlayStation would sound like a rocket, I'd rather play it because I'm less interested in that than the other two. So, but yeah, that looks bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. So, shall we finish there?
Porter
this week?
Bridges.
Ladders,
Die Hard.
stuff, things, yeah. Mad smoking and then appearing out of
Yeah, if
black
he edited that
liquids.
trailer himself, then he should just be a filmmaker. He should just give up this game nonsense and be a filmmaker. Because I like the music as well for that track.
Yeah, I really like
I'd
the
probably
music
have
as
to
well.
get that. I'd have to see what... Because I'm sure he put what the name of the track on at the
He
start of
did,
the
yes,
trailer.
yes.
I'm gonna have
Almost
to-
as it kicks in, he puts the name of the track in the
Yeah.
band, and even the publisher, like where it's available from, which is
Oh, I'll check that out then. Because
Yeah.
that's a cool track.
it definitely was, and it fits. Even though I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, the music's the worst part of it." Actually, I thought it was really good.
People thought the music was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Mm.
The music was great. I don't know if it would be great to listen to on its own, but it fits well with the vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Fits
Maybe
well with
not
the
the
trailer.
babies.
Let's see how it maybe fits. You know, maybe built for
The
the
9-minute
trailer, and
trailer.
used at least for the trailer, but won't feature in the
Ugh.
game itself. Who knows? With
Oh, I hope
Kojima?
it's in the game. I hope it's in the game. Like the
I mean, it's-
the boss level is you're climbing up a 10-story ladder up to the boss.
like,
You know that ladder's gonna. You know before
just
the,
breaks
the
halfway.
last boss, that ladder's gonna be like, oh, I have a upgrade for my ladder, and it's like 20 million stories high.
Yeah.
To the
Or
moon.
it's now made of titanium, and I just hit him with it instead. Like fully extend my ladder and just smash him in the head with a giant ladder, whilst I'm stood 500 meters away from him. Done. Yeah, that's fine. So
yeah.
for another week, we've been tanked up by. No, let's actually talk about our beers and finish there for this week. Lucy, you had 2 beers. Which did you?
I did. I liked the Verdant. It was different. Not used to beers from them, which are more malt forward. But yeah, it was nice. It definitely had that Verdant DNA.
Yeah.
But definitely the collaboration between Wylam and Yeastie Boys. The the WXY. Why did they put forward to the power of 4 there? I don't know. Because they've never done a collaboration before, have they? Not that in my memory. So maybe if it was the fourth collaboration.
I think Wylam have done collaborations, but it's. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen many collaborations. I don't think I've seen any collaborations with the Yeastie Boys.
Yeah, but if anyone's searching for it, it's WXY for the Shipper, the Southern Hemisphere IPA. Yeah, that was
Coined.
coined by the fantastic punsman. Yeah, it was really like it was like a very well balanced beer. It was like fruity at the start, nice and bitter and resinous and piney at the end. You know, you think it's going to be quite thick and pulpy, but you know, easy drinking, perfect on a summer's day. Doesn't taste like 7%. That's my favourite for this week.
Yeah, nice. That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Adil, about halfway through, you went and grabbed yourself a Soda Stream.
I did, yes.
Which was better, Soda Stream or coffee?
Oh, that's tough. I think I'm going to have to say today the Soda Stream. It's reliable. It was the right amount of bubbles. I've had better coffees. I'm not sure I've had better Soda Stream.
That's fair. Good.
I should have poured it into a measuring cup, though.
That's the only way.
only issue you had with the whole drinking experience.
I actually have a measuring jug right over there, so it's not in frame, but it's here in spirit. Full of water.
I've got one on the other side of this wall. So yes,
In the kitchen?
they're all exactly in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They're always around. They're always
I mean,
somewhere.
I've got one in
close.
this room, but that's because I'm literally at the kitchen table.
They're in our hearts.
Yeah.
Exactly. For the 2 beers I had, which was the Left-Handed Giant, whatever it was called, New Best Friend.
It's a tough one for you in not a good way.
Yeah, the North Brewing and Other Half double IPA. I am going to go with the Left-Handed Giant.
Okay.
Because I would... It's It's not the best example of an IPA, but it is a beer that I would have drank again.
Gotcha.
And I think it was a beer that I would have drank quite happily after this one as well. You know, not just sort of like, oh, okay, I've seen this beer. Yeah, I've had this before. Fine, I'll have this. I think it's maybe it was nice enough, even though it was kind of a little bit lacking for a left-handed giant beer and a little bit sort of mediocre, that it was good enough that I'd be like, okay, I could have another one of these straight away. The North and the other half, it grew on me a little bit, but it didn't hit the heights that I was kind of expecting it to. It didn't quite give me, a big sort of fruitiness. Didn't give me a big alcoholic kind of hit that a double IPA kind of that I wanted from a double IPA. It was slightly more lacking in the essence of being a double IPA than the left-handed giant was in being an IPA.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the two beers I've had and the two styles that they have suggested were both not quite what I would think that they should be, but have a slight expectation of. And it's fine.
That's fair.
I love having beers which don't meet expectations, which are different and do something else. But neither of these did anything else. They were just very sort of watered down, mediocre versions of the style that they were suggesting they were. The left-handed giant was a slightly less watered down, mediocre version of the style it was than the double IPA.
That's it's always the fine line. It's like, oh, you're doing something completely different to what's said on the tin, and I like this. But then when you don't like it, it's like, well, why didn't you just do what's said on the tin?
Exactly. When it's kind of when it's not quite up to par, and when it's it doesn't meet the not just the standards, but at least the kind of what you're sort of thinking of from a style, at least as a minimum, it just very quickly falls by the wayside and is, I'm going to forget the double IPA North and other half beer tomorrow. I guaranteed. Yeah. I'm never going to think about it again. I would imagine if I went into a pub and I saw the new best friend, I would think, okay, I've had that. I know that it's good. If I have a beer now that it maybe, again, isn't great, I'm going to come back to this left-handed giant because I know what I'm getting from it. And that was enjoyable enough that I would pick it again. Luckily, Lucy, you and I don't have that problem this coming weekend, because we are going to be at the Bristol Craft Beer Festival, where there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beers.
And we're going to have every single one of them.
Fucking hell. I hope that's not like a promise.
Oh no.
I definitely won't be able to keep up.
Because, oh no, I'll go in an ambulance if that was the case. We'll have a customary 15?
Yeah, and these about 15, 16, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, these are like 15, like what, 100 mils? No, it's more than that they give you nowadays. Give you about a third, don't
about
they?
a third, yeah.
So about 5 pints.
About 150, something like that they give you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have about 5 pints.
Yeah. I'm sad I'm out of town.
Yeah, I'm sad too, but you're coming to Birmingham later this year.
I need to buy a ticket for that.
No, Lucy bought them.
Oh, Lucy bought them.
Ticket? What ticket? Do you mean a train ticket? Oh no, you don't need any tickets.
Oh no, it was tokens last time, wasn't it? You just turn up.
Oh
and buy
yeah,
tokens,
but I'll buy some tokens. Right. Give you your allowance for the weekend.
Cool.
Don't worry about it.
I'm officially unemployed and no longer a student, so
best way to be.
Allowance.
Nice. So that is us for this week. If you want to get hold of Aadil, you can do so in almost one way everywhere. Aadil, what is that?
Carrier pigeon.
Good. Lucy.
It might make it across the Atlantic.
What is it really, Aadil?
The Omniarch, THEOMNIAR.
Good. Lucy, if people want to get hold of you and talk to you about beer and games, how do they do so?
Juicy Loose everywhere. Untapped, Xbox, Steam, PlayStation, the web or wherever.
She's
The
even managed to hack the Switch such that if you put Juicy Loose, it somehow knows her code.
Yeah,
That's it.
the World Wide Web.
We'll get Nintendo to change your friend code in a way that it is sort of a J and a U and then an I and see what they can actually do.
Well, we're not allowed to play with our friends on Nintendo anyway.
They won't do that. They won't do that. They don't give. They
I
don't give
can't
enough
play with
shit.
Aadil in Mario Maker. Doesn't matter. Play with strangers.
Yeah.
Boom.
Make new
You
friends.
know, meet paedophiles on the internet who draw phallic images in the Mario Maker level. But don't play with friends, because Nintendo are safety first.
Exactly. Safety first. Instantly into Splatoon 2 and see just, hey, cocksuckers.
Nintendo.
How about you, Ben? How do we get a hold of you?
I am at Nova_47 almost everywhere. If you'd like to talk to us all, we are at tankedup_cast on Twitter, tankedupcast@gmail.com if you want to email us, or tankedupcast on Instagram. I would imagine whilst we're at the Bristol Craft Beer Festival, we're going to be doing one of those things.
Gramming up a storm.
Who
I'll
fucking
check into
knows?
Untapped, and Ben will be on the grams.
I've got to work out how
Link
to
the
do.
gram to your Twitter.
Yes, well, the gram it's linked. It is linked to Twitter, but I've got to work out
You can do
then
Untapped to
how
Instagram
we could
now.
do little instant videos, like 15 seconds of Lucy being like, "I've got this beer, I think this," and then
Please do
doing
not
that.
record my shame on social media. After the
no,
first 3 beers, that's fine. After
But
that,
you're never going to see me. I'm going to be like this the whole weekend.
I mean, just
you'll
do it as
have 2
Instagram
pints in
stories,
your
Ben.
hands.
Do it as Instagram stories. That way, if you guys embarrass yourselves, they disappear after a day.
Yeah, but people can screenshot that, like Snapchat.
Yeah, but
It is true.
But you'd have to assume that we're adept enough to even find out how to do
This
that.
is what I'm thinking. Like, how do I do that?
And
Yes, I need to work out
whilst
how
we're
I
under the
actually do
influence, whilst we're inebriated, you think anything.
mean,
that. If it's more than like
I'm-
2 buttons worth, I'm done.
I'm hoping, because then I can watch the tomfoolery that results in these attempts. Basically, what
Watch the
I'm
chaos.
Yes, exactly. When you click on Tanked Up on Instagram and there's 500 Instagram stories because I've mistakenly pressed it and then stopped it because I hadn't realised that, then mistakenly pressed it and stopped it again because we're not quite ready. And then we've done one video of Lucy being like, yeah, this beer's fine.
Yeah.
And then I've turned the camera like, yeah, this beer's fine. And then it's another one of a start-stop
Although,
thing.
to be fair,
Go
if
to the
you do
next
a
one.
story for every beer you guys saying it's fine, I'd be very tickled.
That'd be fine. Just it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. Alright.
That's going to be the saying of the weekend. So, you know how
Just
to
like
get
this,
hold of
yeah.
us.
Wait, is
You know-
it fine? But if you both say it, doesn't that mean it's
This podcast is
double
fine.
fine?
Oh, nice. They publish whatever the fuck they want.
Pun Master Strike.
Slash
yeah.
us. We make a game, they'll publish it. It's fine. Double fine.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
So,
Play
Another week.
Headlander.
come, yes, we'll play headline definitely. Come to Bristol Craft Beer Festival if you can. We're going to be there during the day on Saturday. Drinking up a storm. Come and join us if you can. But for another
Excellent.
week, at least until Saturday, we've been tanked up. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
I've missed the chow.
Mr. Chow's my friend. He has 2 kids.
www.outoflives.net